Hey there, it is Ryan Seacrest with you. Do you want to make this summer unforgettable? Join me at Chumba Casino. It's this summer's hottest online destination. They are rolling out the red carpet with an amazing welcome offer just for you. So don't wait. Dive in now and play hundreds of social casino games for free. Your chance to redeem real prizes is just a spin away. Care to join me?
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to the Man Cave Podcast with Dan Casper.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to this episode of the Man Cave Podcast, brought to you by Hy-Vee and Toyson Ford. We also got that Swag Cave, brought to you by Resonance Branding Company. Get that link in the podcast description. Fun episode coming at you. My buddy Brandon Berg is going to be joining me in the second half of this episode, and we are going to draft our Home Run Derby participants, our top 5 Home Run Derby participants from 1985 to current. So Home Run Derby started in 85. That's where we're going to start it. That way we don't have to factor in Babe Ruth, Ted Williams, Hank Aaron, those types of players. So 1985 to current. That's coming up in the second half. First up, though, we continue our series, our training camp series leading up to the start of Packers training camp. So let's just jump right into it. Packers training camp opens up a week and a couple days away here. First day of practice, July 22nd, so it'll be a week from this coming Monday already, believe it or not. Coming up here quick. Man, it still hasn't really hit me, to be honest with you. So we've been doing a little bit of a countdown here of some of the top storylines for the Packers heading into training camp. And we've touched on Matt LaFleur in the offense. We've talked about Jeff Hafley. We've talked about Stokes and Watson and hamstring injuries. We've talked about Xavier McKinney, kind of going all around different places here, whether it's been players, coaches, or position groups here. And I'm going to do 2 more today because we started off with 14 because when we started it this previous Monday, well, it's 2 weeks away, 14 days. So let's do 2 more. And I'm going to go up to the trenches, both the offensive line and the defensive line. We'll start with the offensive line here. Questions all around in terms of who's going to be the best 5, right? Who's going to be that starting 5? As we know, Matt LaFleur loves to say the best 5 will play. How that shirt is not in the pro shop with that quote yet, somebody's missing out over there. But the 5 best we know will play. Those locks are Elton Jenkins at left guard and Zach Tom somewhere. I mean, there was a lot of talk earlier on in the offseason that could he be moved to center. But now maybe it seems like he's going to stay at right tackle. We'll find out once camp opens. And also, the other part in this, too, is Zach Tom's dealing with that pec injury. He may not be ready to go right away. So it's a little bit more of a question mark up at this point. So then you look at left tackle. Is it going to be Rasheed Walker? Is it going to be the first-round pick Jordan Morgan, who some NFL peeps leading up to the draft process and throughout the whole draft process thought maybe he's better suited at guard? You've got Andre Dillard, who is a former first-round pick, but hasn't really lived up to that first-round expectation. Packers signed him to a minimum. Could he be an option, either at the right tackle, either at a guard situation? Is Sean Ryan, a former third-round pick, finally going to get an opportunity to be a full-time starter after, last year we got to see him a little bit subbing in and out with Runyon? Or could that be Jordan Morgan's spot on here? Josh Myers, I feel like this is his final year at center, and this is a contract year for him. A guy that's kind of been under fire the last couple of years. Last year at training camp, we saw him and Zach Tom splitting snaps at that center position. Kind of like, okay, could Zach Tom take it over? Josh Myers, though, ended up holding on to it. So, I mean, you got questions galore. I think the big one is going to be, first of all, you got to figure out your blind spot. You got to figure out who is going to be your guy at that left tackle position. Is it going to be Rasheed Walker? Is it going to be Jordan Morgan? I know Audrey Dillard is technically in the depth chart over there too, but I think Rasheed and Jordan have a leg up. Rasheed Walker showed some flashes last year. And I think you're kind of looking for maybe him to take his game up another step, to be a little bit more consistent. He showed some good stuff when he took advantage of the opportunity that was given to him last year. But now, can he really solidify himself as a full-on, full-time starting left tackle in this league? He's going to get a shot to do it, even with the Packers drafting Jordan Morgan. And the Packers are going to give Jordan Morgan a shot to win that left tackle spot, I believe, too. I really believe they all will. So, you got that. That's the big one to me. You've got, for Jordan Love to continue to ascend and continue to be a top quarterback in this league, you have got to nail down that blind spot. You have got to nail down the left tackle position. And you got to get it right. Because I believe Jordan Love started to play a lot better last year, too. Once Walker and the left tackle, left side, started to play a little bit better, they started to settle in. Don't allow him to get pressured on that blind side. You've got to nail it down. Packers have been fortunate for a long time to have David Bakhtiari over there holding it down. They've got to find their next 8 to 10 year left tackle. Is that Walker? Is it Morgan? And there's a good shot that maybe Morgan, maybe he, I wouldn't be surprised if he's not a starter to open up the season. And I know that's going to rile up some fans because he's a first-round pick, and how is he not a starter? And I understand that. But I would also caution, too, Brian Bulaga started off that way. He wasn't a starter, and he was a first-round pick. And then Tauscher gets hurt, Bulaga gets inserted as the right tackle, rest is history. Even Elton Jenkins, and I know he was a second-round pick, he wasn't a starter right away. It's going to happen. There's going to be injuries to the offensive line. Odds are that's going to happen. So we're going to see him at some point this season, whether it's a starter or whether he comes in relief or whatever. But you look at this offensive line, they've got to figure out, left guard is the one that's like the one position they don't got to figure out. That's Elton's. You're good to go. You're good to go. Zach Tom, we know, is going to be a starter when he's healthy. It's just, is it going to be right tackle? Could it be back to guard? Or is he actually going to move to center full-time? When we go to his comments that he said at OTAs and minicamps, it kind of felt like he wanted to stay at right tackle. Whether the Packers will oblige by that or not, we'll see. And then everything else is kind of up in the air. They've got to nail down this unit for this offense to succeed. For all the talk that we've been having with this offense about their young receiving core and their tight ends and Jacobs and Jordan Love, it still starts up front. If those guys can't protect Jordan Love, if those guys can't open up running lanes for Josh Jacobs and company, offense ain't going to do anything. So this is a big training camp to figure out, okay, who are those best five? And not only just the best five, but the best five that fit in their positions. You know what I mean? Like, if there's a dude that's just, you know what, he's a better tackle than he is a guard, don't play him at guard. If you got a guy that's a better guard, but this other guy is maybe a better tackle, but if you're like power ranking them, and say your fifth guy and your sixth guy is there, but you have an opening at guard, but your fifth guy is a better tackle than his guard, and that sixth guy is a better guard, just put the guys in the right position. Put together your best group. So I don't think it's necessarily your five best will play. It's not like a power ranking. It's got to be your best cohesive group. that's going to get the job done. And I think this is going to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, training camp position battle this whole training camp season, preseason. This is the one. I'll also throw kickers in there, and I'll tell you what, that's coming up later on too. They got to nail this, and they got to get it right. For this offense to live up to the expectations that we are having for them, and the expectations are rightfully high, they got to nail it. They got to get this one right. And then on the flip side, the defensive line, transitioning to that 4-3. I'm excited for this because I think we are going to get a better version of Kenny Clark. I think this is going to fit him well. And I think this is going to benefit Devontae Wyatt too. The thing is, Devontae Wyatt, this is a prove-it year for him. Last year in training camp, the guy was flashing. He was showing some stuff. He was winning in practice. Pretty quiet in the regular season though, right? Didn't hear a whole lot about him. I think him transitioning to a 4-3 defensive tackle is going to benefit him. But now, he's got to run with that. He's got to take advantage of that. He's got to have a year this year, entering his third year. He has got to show, he has got to prove why he is a first-round pick. And I think lining up next to Kenny Clark and that defensive tackle spot on a 4-3 is going to benefit him. I think both those guys lining up next to each other, they're going to be able to benefit from each other. I think initially, Devontae is probably going to get the benefit of the doubt from opposing offensive linemen because they may focus a little bit more on Kenny Clark. Take advantage of that. And then if Devontae Wyatt starts to take advantage of that, starts to win his battles, starts to be a force up front, it's going to help Kenny Clark. So we got those two guys, and then you got like Carl Brooks and Colby Wooden, who, they may be defensive ends and such. But I think when it comes to the defensive ends on this 4-3, I think we're all kind of intrigued to see how Rashawn Gary's going to do at that spot, hand in the dirt. Lucas Van Ness, I think a lot of us, and when I say a lot of us, I mean Packers fans, kind of feel like maybe Lucas Van Ness is better suited as a 4-3 defensive end, a little bit of a hand in the dirt. I mean, the guy is huge. You haven't seen him in person. And then you got Preston Smith over there too. I think at least I'm intrigued to see how they transition into that after standing up at a 2-point stance. Is it going to be an easy transition for those guys to put their hand in the dirt and go over there? And I think they will. I think what's going to benefit a guy like Rashawn Gary from putting his hand in the dirt is when he was a 3-4 outside linebacker, the guy tended to over pursue a little bit. And I think now, with that mindset that we keep hearing from Jeff Hafley and these position players on the defensive line, is like their job is to go after the quarterback and to kind of play with their hair on fire. I think if you're Rashawn Gary, that should help him. That should benefit him. The dude is getting paid like a premier pass rusher in this league. Got that big contract. And last year he started off fairly hot, but then kind of middle of the season, I think it got a little quiet there. And remember, though, too, this was a guy that was coming off of an ACL injury. So I think we're looking for Rashawn Gary to maybe take another step. Like, is this going to really kind of put him into a vault him into maybe a top pass rusher in this league? Is he going to start to, where other teams are going to start to take notice, like, okay, this is a guy that could be a premier pass rusher in this league? I think one comparison, I don't know if he's a little bit bigger than him, but I think Rashawn Gary, could he be like the Micah Parsons of Dallas? Remember Micah Parsons was drafted as a linebacker. 4-3 now, though. He's kind of hand in the dirt. I mean, he's listed as 245. Rashawn's bigger. Okay, Rashawn's like 265, 270, somewhere around, or 275. So he's a little bit bigger there, but maybe kind of that type of role. So I'm excited to see this group because I think they got some depth there. I thought Colby Wooden and Carl Brooks last year showed some nice stuff. You got Slayton over there, and I know Slayton's more of a typical 3-4 nose tackle, run stuffing type of guy up there, but I think there's a role for him. And I'm cautiously optimistic about this group. And I think one thing too is that just having 4 down linemen, will this help improve the run defense a little bit here too? Something that I feel like has been just a constant thing that has always popped up for how many years in a row now is some stretches where the Packers' inability to stop the run has come back to bite them. And I just wonder with this now 4-3, if we're kind of just doing a base, and I would say it's probably more of a 4-2-5 or whatever we want to call it, but if we talk about just straight up base 4 linemen up there, will we see an improvement in stopping the run? You know, we've talked about all offseason, the hype has been about press man coverage, safeties, you know, Quay Walker moving to a weak side and all that. You haven't heard a lot of people talk about, okay, will this help improve the run defense too? And that's what I hope we see too. I hope we see this group just kind of be a force where, you know what? You can't run the ball on us. So if you're going to try to pass on us, well, our mindset now is we're going to be a little bit more aggressive in our pass defense. Our corners are going to be up there in the wide receivers' faces. You know, we're going to be an aggressive, maybe even risk-taking defense. Something I don't think we've seen in a long time. But I'm definitely excited to see this defensive line group and kind of see the rotations and kind of see how it all comes together. I think it's going to be a big benefit for Kenny Clark and Devontae Wyatt. Devontae Wyatt needs it to be because this is a big year for him. And I think Rashawn Gary will improve and become a more consistent pass rusher. He's shown he can be one of the best in the league. I think just the one thing hasn't been consistent. And I think Lucas Van Ness entering his second year now, got his feet wet last year. He showed in his limited amount of playing time last year too why the Packers drafted him in the first round. I mean, hitting the edge with his speed and taking down like speedsters like Justin Fields and all that. He showed that. But I think this is going to benefit him too. And then back to the offensive line, I think that's probably the position group outside of kickers that is going to be the most watched and perhaps some jobs are going to be won, or maybe solidified is the best way to put that. All right, let's take a quick break, and Brandon's going to be joining me, and we are going to do a top 5 draft where Brandon and I will be drafting our Home Run Derby participants from 1985 to current. That's coming up after these quick words. Summer is in full swing. Are you stocked up and prepared? With the kids staying home this summer, family vacations.
Hey there, it is Ryan Seacrest with you. Do you want to make this summer unforgettable? Join me at Chumba Casino. It's this summer's hottest online destination. They are rolling out the red carpet with an amazing welcome offer just for you. So don't wait. Dive in now and play hundreds of social casino games for free. Your chance to redeem real prizes is just a spin away. Care to join me?
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Land and ball games to go to. Your pantries and cupboards are probably looking a bit bare these days. Save money and stock up this summer by doing your shopping at Hy-Vee in Eau Claire. Not only will you be able to get the best deals on the best items in the area, you can do some extra savings with Hy-Vee's fuel perks. Save money on groceries and gas. That's a win-win situation. So what are you waiting for? Get to shopping at Hy-Vee in Eau Claire today. We're getting set for another busy travel season, vacations, taking our kids to all their games and activities, and you need a proper vehicle to get you to where you're going and safely. That's where Toyson Ford can help you. Toyson Ford will go the extra mile to provide you with compelling options for new and used car shopping. They will gladly work with you on financing no matter what your budget may be. They're committed to giving drivers across the Chippewa Valley the best in customer service. Check them out for yourself. Visit Toyson Ford in Chippewa Falls today and check out their website, toysonford.net. Brandon, you ready to do a little rock, paper, scissors? Brandon and I are going to be doing, with the Home Run Derby coming up, selecting our 5-player team, 5-man team for the Home Run Derby from 1985 to current. Now, let's set some rules here first, so we're on the same page with everything. Should they have participated in a derby contest?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And I feel like that's going to cover a lot of ground anyway, because most of the people did.
Right.
But I don't want to have to go through and look up and see if somebody did.
Right. That's okay. I just wanted to make that clear.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
So everybody's like, oh, they never. Okay, well, we didn't necessarily, pick them for that. So,
Right.
Again, 1985 to current, so no Babe Ruth, none of those.
Aaron.
Yep, none of those dudes over there. So, and the reason we picked 1985 is because that's when it started. So we can go all the way to then. So I'm trying to think, is there any other rules that we really have to? I don't think so.
I don't think
right?
so, yeah.
No.
We're each picking 5.
Each picking 5. So I think that's...
We will rock, paper, scissors. And there's no snake draft, so it is 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. So if you win, yeah.
Yep. All right. Best out of 3.
Best out of 3. 1, 2, 3, shoot.
1, 2, 3, shoot. We got to make sure we
Yep.
put that out there. 1,
Right.
2, 3, shoot. Not on 3. It's
No,
1,
it's
2,
1,
3,
2,
shoot. So,
yes.
all right. You ready to go?
All right, best of 3. Here we go. Down and dirty. Ready?
Do I need a dump button? No cuss words or anything?
I don't think so. I think I'll be fine.
All right. So, ready? 1, 2, 3, shoot. See?
My rock defeated his scissors.
I trash talk, and I never back it up.
All right.
1, 2, 3, shoot.
Ooh,
Tied
couple
it up.
scissors there.
Every time you say that, dude, stop that.
I'm trying to provide some sort of context here.
Okay. I got to think. Ready?
Yep.
Hey, don't! You jumped the gun!
Put your hand up.
1, 2, 3, shoot. Oh, Brandon swept it.
Another rock over the scissors.
Gah.
Were you entirely scissors?
Yes. I was waiting for you to drop a paper, man. Dang it. All right. Well, first pick, dude. You got it. Who you rolling with?
Like I said, mine is I'm putting together one I think people want to see.
Okay.
So, for my number 1 pick, I'm going Shohei Ohtani.
Okay. Brandon's going Ohtani. I'm writing these down so
Okay, yep.
Can keep track here. So, Shohei. Ohtani. He was in which year was he in the Derby? So he was. Did he go up against like Soto when they did like the matchups or something like that? So, all right, solid pick. I'm glad you picked him because I want Griffey.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, Yep,
I want Griffey Jr. I was getting a little nervous because you said with the show too. I'm like, well, Griffey brings the show.
Yeah, there's some pizzazz there.
So I want Griffey Jr. backwards cap, all of it.
Yep.
So
all right, that's a good pick. Pick.
All right.
We each got our. If we're doing like
so I'm glad I lost now because that would have been my first pick. So.
Well, that would have been my first pick.
Ohtani probably would have been my next one. So.
But see, if we're putting together our like TV advertisements or our radio advertisements, these are the people we're having front and center.
Oh yeah.
So,
100%.
All right, my next one, I'm going Barry Bonds.
Okay.
Yep. I think he would. Maybe in this environment he would have some fun. Who knows? It's Barry Bonds. You never know. But I just feel like
for our home run derby, more roids the better.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm going Barry Bonds.
Yeah, that's. Come on. That's also in our wheelhouse back in the day too, right?
Yep.
With him over there. So, with that, I have. This is maybe more of a. I don't want to say necessarily nostalgia, but this is what I think of. I'm going to go McGuire. For mine because I only think about McGuire for 2 things: roids and home runs. It's that he's home run hitter. So I emulated as a kid Mark McGwire's batting stance, a little crouch, a little butt out and all that. And just, flick of the wrist and it's over and all that. So I'm going to go McGwire for mine.
Well, you made my pick easy because I was going to go one of two. You went McGwire, I'm going Sosa.
Okay.
I mean, I can't let you have both of them. You can't recreate 98 on me, but, plus I need to get a righty in there. But, yeah, I'll go Sammy Sosa for similar things you mentioned. Look, I'm putting on a show here. And obviously, that the great home run race of 98 is what it is, but those two guys, and not just their ability to hit home runs, however it might have happened, their personalities were a big part of it too. Right. And I think that's going to be important. So yeah, I'm going to put Sosa in here.
You're right. Personality is a big part of it on this. There's when I was looking at this yesterday and kind of looking at some of the names, you kind of forget Cal Ripken Jr. won it one year.
Yeah.
Sandberg won it one year. Guys that you don't think what? They actually won it. I'm not picking either one of those guys in case you're wondering. Right. But I am going to go with a 2-time winning home run derby champ, Prince Fielder.
Nice.
I'm going to go Fielder.
Nice.
With mine. So, all right, we each got 2 more selections.
We each got 2 more, and this is, I think, where it kind of gets a little interesting. Mm-hmm. But my next one, and I'm going to go, this is a little off the grid, but again, I'm going for who's going to put on a good show and have some fun with it. I'm going Jose Canseco.
We got to have both the Bash brothers in there, right? So I got one and you got one.
If you would have you had McGwire, if you either had McGwire Sosa or McGwire Canseco, I feel like you had that kind of. I can't let you have that. But
can you point that finger even harder at me right there, man?
Give you the old crooked finger. But no, Jose Canseco for me.
All right, that's a solid one. Was he ever in a home run derby?
I don't know. I can look and see.
I'm not sure if he ever was or not. This one is more of a nostalgia pick for me. But, he won it one year, though, too. But I don't think anybody else has put him on his list. I'm going with the big hurt, Frank Thomas.
Nice.
Frank Thomas on there. I was a big Frank Thomas fan as a kid. For whatever reason, I don't know why, but I, for a while as a kid, was a White Sox fan.
Okay.
And I was a Frank Thomas fan. And I'm not sure why, to be honest with you. I don't know if it's because... my run at Whittlesey Lions Little League in T-ball, I played first base. So Frank Thomas was...
You were the little hurt?
Yeah. Frank Thomas was, I would say, probably one of the premier first basemen during that, 90s and such, right? So I was a big Frank Thomas fan. So I gotta put the big hurt in here.
All right. My last one...
This is going to be interesting,
This is. I'm pretty sure I know where I'm going to go with this, but... you had mentioned that Russell Brandon was someone that was saying, I'm not going to pick Russell Brandon, even though, because I'm picking this. If I was picking this just for my own entertainment, I probably would.
Yeah.
But I'm actually trying to pick this to try to win.
Okay.
So, and so I'm going to pick a guy that had a great career, hit a bunch of home runs, but is tailor-made for a home run derby. My last pick is Adam Dunn.
Okay.
462 career home runs. Highest strikeout percentage of anybody in the top, anybody in the top 30.
Yeah.
I'm going Adam Dunn.
Interesting. Okay. All right, Adam Dunn. Wow. I'm between 3 right now. I'm going to throw a name out there. I'm not picking him, but do we kind of forget how that he actually won it twice, and it wasn't that long ago? Cespedes?
Jonas Cespedes.
Yeah, Cespedes.
Maybe, but
he won it twice, back to back.
And my thing, and maybe we just had different criteria for picking. I didn't look at who won the most.
Right? No.
But you're right. Like you said, he's done it twice.
Right.
He had some flash and flare to his game, so he could be a fun one to have in there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, probably. Pete Alonso's won it a couple times. Kyle Schwarber's won it a couple times.
Yeah. Josh Hamilton has been a very popular pick from others.
He was...
And I thought you were going to pick him.
He was on the short list.
Yeah. He's not in my final 3, though. And maybe I'm overthinking this a little bit. By the way, I forgot Todd Frazier won it in 15.
Todd Father.
Yeah.
The pride of Tom's
He's on
River.
the call for the home run derby, too.
The pride of Tom's River, New Jersey.
Can I tell you my 3? that I'm choosing
Sure.
between?
Yeah. I mean, we're done. I mean, I'm done. So
Yeah.
sure.
So my 3 that I'm going back and forth on is David Ortiz, Aaron Judge, and Bryce Harper. A little bit more of a recency thing there. I'll say the one name I'm surprised you didn't pick based off your criteria, because you said for entertainment, was Vlad Guerrero.
Yeah.
I thought you were, once you said that, I'm like, okay, he's going to get Vlad Guerrero because of the swing. I mean, he's going to swing at everything over there.
Right.
Another name nobody really mentions is Giambi.
Yeah. I mean, and look. I mean, nobody's mentioned Pujols. He's
got. I thought of Pujols.
A-Rod.
I thought of Pujols because he's got over 700 for crying out loud.
Right. A-Rod. Like, there's other guys that are up there as far as like career home runs go.
Yep. But you know what? I am going to go Pujols, actually.
Okay.
I'm going to switch it. I'm going to go Pujols on mine because
You're welcome.
I thought of him because he's over 700, but I kind of was like you, like, okay, first of all, I think I'm getting trapped into the mindset of like trying to pick guys who won it. And he never won one. And I think that's part, like, just, it's inadvertently in my mind, like, I got to pick guys who won it. And so, like, I had that list in my mind. But when you think about it, I mean, the dude, career-wise, yeah, he had over freaking 700 in his prime. Was there anybody better as a hitter in his prime?
Right.
I mean, he was just, as his ESPN commercial said, he was a machine.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, a guy that we haven't even talked about hit more than 600 home runs. You know, in this era we're talking about, actually has the 5th most home runs, but nobody talked about because he went about it just kind of in a quiet way. Jim Thome.
Oh!
612 home runs.
See, now Jim Thome, I forgot. I would always select him on the video games for home runs.
Yeah?
For a home run derby. Jim Thome.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jim. Dang, but that's a really good one too.
But because I'm just looking at the home run leader since '85.
Yeah.
And some other ones that we did not pick that, you know, we could have. Rafael Palmeiro had 569.
See, I never think of him as a home run hitter for some
Right,
reason.
you just think of him as a hitter.
Yeah.
Manny Ramirez.
Okay. Yep.
You mentioned David Ortiz. Frank Thomas, 521.
Yep.
Miguel Cabrera, 511. A guy I actually kind of thought about, Gary Sheffield.
Ah, yeah.
Otherwise, Fred McGriff, Adrian Beltre, Carlos Delgado, Chipper Jones, Nelson Cruz, Adam Dunn, who was tied with Jose Canseco, Jeff Bagwell, Vlad Guerrero, Giambi, Paul Konerko, Carlos Beltran, Andrew Jones, Juan Gonzalez, Mike Piazza, Edwin Encarnacion, and 30th at 420 and rising, Giancarlo Stanton.
Stanton was a popular pick on social media from a lot of people out there, too.
I could see it.
So,
big dude.
You know, I really want, if we were to do I wanted to put Judge in here. I just don't know if it's a little too early yet. Even though the guy's just, I mean, he's amazing, too. So,
right.
But he's also big. I already got a big hurt on here. I don't know.
I saved myself from myself because I did want to put Jeremy Burnett in there. Because, you know, he'd be up there swinging 100 miles an hour every time.
You know. All right, so to recap, Brandon's 5-person team is Ohtani, Bonds, Sosa, Canseco, and Dunn. Mine is Griffey, McGuire, Fielder, Prince, not Cecil, Thomas, and Pujols. So
we have some fun.
Mm-hmm. All right. Vote. Let us know whose team you would pick to win. All right. That is going to do it for us, though, on this episode of the Man Cave Podcast, brought to you by our good friends from Hy-Vee and Toyson Ford. Again, don't forget to check out the Swag Cave, done by our good friends at Resonance Branding Company. Check out your Swag Cave and get your podcast gear and show gear. That link is in the podcast description. Until next time, I'm Dan Casper, and I will talk to you on the next episode of the Man Cave Podcast.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.